So I attempted to make this video yesterday, but when I went to pull the FRS out of the garage like I always do to give myself some more room, it wouldn't turn over, so it's been on the battery tender overnight. We're gonna try to fire this thing up and get it out of here. This is what's left of my carbon fiber lip. Katie and I were coming home from dinner with our friends the other night and ended up hitting some deer meat on the way home. Not like a full carcass, maybe just like a thigh or something. But anyway, one lane construction zone, so you've got a big concrete barrier on one side and like weeds as tall as the hood on the other side. Really nowhere to go, unfortunately. I hit the meat. This actually bent back underneath the car, so it was dragging. Eventually I managed to pull over and I just ripped it off the rest of the way, but it sucks. It could have been worse, but we've got a new lip to replace this one, so that's what we're doing today. So I haven't been underneath the car yet since this happened. Now there's no damage or anything on the paint on the actual bumper, which tells me whatever I hit was just barely tall enough to clip my carbon fiber lip. So I'm gonna have a peek under here, a little bit nervous, but let's check it out. All right, so checking out underneath the car. All right, the first thing that I see, there's a hole right here. That's where the lip was screwed onto. Going back a little bit here, you can see that there's some scrape marks on the under tray here. This is just like a fabric right there. And then also on the plastic, you can kind of see where it dragged along the whole underside, but it looks like it's all cosmetic. You know, before I drove the car at all, I made sure that none of the fluids were leaking, nothing hit like the oil pan or the radiator or anything like that. So it looks like it's just mostly cosmetic things under here. This is a little bit gruesome, and I don't know how this will show on camera, but if you look at that bolt where the downpipe connects to the exhaust, you can see a little bit of meat on there, but otherwise, not too bad. Keith Motorsports generously blessed us with a brand new carbon fiber lip. I went with a different style this time. I figure if I have to replace this anyway, might as well use this opportunity to switch up the look of the front end. But that means that I've got to take off what's left of the old one. Now I put these pieces on with double-sided Gorilla Tape. We'll see how hard those are to take off. If you live in a cold climate, a kerosene space heater is a cheap and efficient way to heat your garage. Just keep a carbon monoxide detector nearby. I used a hairdryer to soften up the adhesive tape holding this carbon piece on. This stuff was a pain in the butt. The heat from the dryer did make it easier to peel up, but it also made it more delicate and it kept ripping into small pieces. I spent at least 30 minutes just on this one little section. So in traditional DIY fashion, what should have been a fun, simple project has turned into a nightmare. First of all, this tape is like almost impossible to get off. It just wants to come off in little pieces. And then on the top here, I had a piece of black vinyl to kind of close in this little gap that was there. And despite every precaution, heating it up with a blow dryer, as I was peeling it off, it took a little bit of paint with it, which just kills me. It's not that big of a deal and you can hardly see it, but as a car guy, just knowing that it's there is gonna bother me. So what I decided to do, I think, rather than trying to swap to the different style of lip, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these carbon fiber pieces back on, which will cover that paint chip. And then I'm just gonna replace the bottom part of the original lip that was broken. It's kind of a bummer because I wanted to run that different lip, but this is just gonna work out a little bit better with the circumstances right now. This whole video kind of feels like a waste now because the car looks exactly the same now as when I started this morning, but you know what? I guess it's good to show the mistakes and failures as they happen. You know, when you're working on cars, you never know what's gonna go wrong. On the bright side, you know, it was only the lip that got broken. The rest of the car is totally fine, totally drivable. There's not even any damage on the bumper aside from the little paint chip that I messed up myself. We'll figure that out at a later date. But what are the takeaways from this? When you have a lowered car, you gotta understand there's gonna be some inherent risk involved. There's a reason why car manufacturers give them a certain ride height. So when you go lower, you add stuff on the front that makes the car even lower to the ground. You're just gonna have to be more careful, more cautious, and just keep your eye on all your little surroundings, deer meat on the road, potholes, all that stuff. Just gotta keep that in account. When you're using Gorilla Tape, this is another thing. You just have to be really careful using this stuff on things that you might want to take off down the road. It is super sticky and it'll keep the stuff on your car for sure. It's just kind of a pain if you ever do have to remove something that's got the Gorilla Tape on it. And then lastly, if you've got another car that you're not going to be driving for days or weeks at a time, highly recommend getting one of these battery chargers. I'm actually going to have to get another one now for the FRS. I usually use this one on the F30, but these are highly recommended, especially like wintertime right now. A lot of people store their cars over winter. These are really good for that. But anyway, guys, I'm sorry if this seemed like a pointless video, but hopefully it was at least a little bit entertaining. I'm going to leave a link to this carbon fiber lip, the one that I'm going back to, in the description for those who are interested in that. And then also follow me on Instagram at Justin Buice. I'm trying to hit 15,000 followers before the end of the year. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.